Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Hello guys, welcome to the Dara Education Project video tutorial series for the Ruby programming, and in this session number 35 we are going to learn about the two-dimensional array. And remember that the two-dimensional array is the same as the array in a single array. First of all, we need to create a new file, and I am going to create a two-dimensional array. Got the Ruby file here, and first of all I will show the heading of this file, uh, the main concept of the two-dimensional array. Okay, remember that that was not so different from the single array. For example, we have creating a student data array, and in Ruby the programming you create the same thing, and then in this the big brackets you can create another brackets here. For example, I'm going to give some data here, and one thing is very important that Ruby has Ruby array is the same single array, that it was a heterogeneous data. It means that you can provide different kinds of data, something like this. It means integer, double, or even strings here. Lahore, something like this. And in this the bigger array, you create the uh, another arrays. It means that the two-dimensional array can be called array within array, and you can see that uh, Karachi, and in this way in the next comma you can add the next value. Seven point five Harun Islamabad. 5 8.5 Albert, London. For example, we created an array. So remember that this is the first 0 index, 1 index, 2 index, and 3 index for this array. And in the next array, this will be one is the 0 index, 1 index, 2 index, and 3 index. As you know that array is a heterogeneous, it means that different kind of data can be stored in a one array in Ruby programming. Similarly, remember that we can approach to find any data with the reference of this thing, the student, for example, data. And then first of all we will give the row in which you can see that this is the first row, second row, third row, and fourth row. So the index of the first row will be 0, 1, 2, 3. If we want to go to Karachi, then it means we will give the index of the row 1 here, and after that we will approach to this array. After that we will go to the 0, 1, 2, and then we approach to the third index, and then we place the 3 values here. Now you need to compile it, run this two-dimensional array, then you can see that we got the Karachi value. Similarly, if we want to get the value of the Albert, it means it was in the fourth row, and since the index was started with the 0, so it means it will be on the third row, 3 index, and then we approach to the 2 values because it was the next index 0, 1, and 2. Similarly, you can understand that this is the same concept was created in the tables or rows. You can communicate it with like this thing. So if we want to print all of these things, and similarly we have another data, for example, if we want to display it the rows and columns, then what we will do, it's a very simple thing. You just need to display the data. For example, I will use student data, and then use the each we already discussed in the last and previous session. Then write do. It means that it will display the continuous loop until it will be completed. Then to, and I use the row here. Then you can simply display the things with the help of uh, ports, and then use row dot join, and here you will just place a separator, and now you will run this thing. You can see that the whole values are displayed in the same manners it was here. In this way you can simply display the things. Similarly, if we have another array, for example s data, you can say that, and in this way you are going to display some a character here. For example, D A R E D. For example, this will be the dar education. I want to write it edu, and in the next row I will use dar edu, and then use C A T I O, and the next one is the N here. Now if I want to display this data, then what will I do? For example, if I will use s data and dot each here, and I want to display it with the concept of the loop within loop concept, then I will use it something like this. Remember that this is the side here, a row, and in this loop, first of all I will get the row dot each once again, and then I will place the next here calls, you can see that, and now we will print calls plus and spaces here. Now I will run this thing, run two dimensional. Okay, we have some issues. I think we have ports and local variable, undefined local variable or method, and we have, I think, missing some values. Okay, sorry, we are missing one this thing. Okay, now we will run this program once again, and you can see that it works very fine. Dar edu, it will be the first columns. This loop will continuously run until it will complete the first row, and after that it will go to the loop row once again and increment it, and then it will display all the values of this thing. So in this way you can understand very well that the loop and array both works together, and array two-dimensional has the same concept as on the single array. But if you want to display the same thing, if I will use this as data dot each and do rows, and if I want to use puts rows dot join, and then try to display it with this method of the Ruby programming, then what will happen here? Run this program once again. You can see that it completely do the same thing. So it's up to you that whether you will use the loop within loop with this thing, or either you want to display with the help of the method of the rows dot join here. Similarly, if you will want to just remove this puts here and then run this program, then what will happen here? So then you can see that there is nothing will be here to differentiate the concept, but it's a very important that if I remove this put statement, then you can see that it will write the whole word together. If I will use puts, then it means a next line will be created here, just like that. Okay, now we have another thing. For example, if I will use dars and just run this application once again, then what will happen here? Okay, you can see that there's nothing differentiated like that. You can simply use the array concept with the heterogeneous and the values are different. For example, if I will use 1 here, then what will happen? Is there any kind of error will be arise or not? So you can see that yes, we have an error because this is the integer form and it was not converted into the string cannot be cost into integer, so that's why the error was shown here. So if I will use another method which we will discuss in the previous lectures, that we will convert this into 2s and then run this program once again, then you can see that it simply converted this one into the string form. That's why the loops works very fine here. So similarly, this is a major concept for the Ruby programming in the two-dimensional. Thank you very much for watching this tutorial. Please subscribe our channel for further videos. Allah Hafiz.